Hey guys, how are you guys doing? This is SABR Prince, and this is Dark's Mexican cousin. We all got a Mexican cousin or Mexican relative, and I was just doing his yard and shit, and he told me, you know what? Let me interview him, and he agreed. He said, yeah, interview me, bro. So we're gonna interview Dark. Where you at, Dark? Oh
Hola,
shit, damn. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás?
nada, qué pedo.
Órale. All right. So guys, as I told you before, I was doing some yard work, hooking up Dark because we're good landscapers. We could fix anything. That's
Naturally,
just in our DNA. So today we're gonna switch the script, and I'm gonna be interviewing Dark on his own show.
it's crazy, man. I'm for all y'all out there. What's up, y'all? Good to see y'all. Jake the Great, brother. Good to see you, man. PLA, Flying Rich, Kurt, all y'all, man. Um,
Damn, the crew's here.
CNT Designs, Guns from the Grave, Opie. So I
Name is
invited
Ian.
I invited Sabar to come on the show, and he was like, "Man, I'll come on the show, but you always interview everybody. So now I'm gonna flip the script on you, and I'm gonna interview yo ass." So I thought that was cool, man. I thought that was a cool way to do things. So plus, it's my favorite subject, me.
Facts. All right,
Yeah,
man.
man.
So,
Yeah.
have you ever been interviewed or not? This is
Um,
your first.
yeah, I mean, not, so I've been on a few shows. And then in my like professional, you know, life kind of I've been interviewed as well. So yes, and I think that's where I get the diplomatic answers, right? You'll see seldomly do I answer just yes or no being a complete sentence, because I try to keep it as diplomatic as possible to you know not be as abrasive as some other people may be.
All right, man. So let's start this. Let's get it popping.
Let's do
All
this.
right.
Let's do this. Let me real quick. Sorry, just before we start, I just want to say what's up. We got the Kurt 24 Safe Line Live. Chenamemba. What up? What up? Toy Town Inc. Safe Line. Da, da, da. Sorry, going through CNT Designs. Opie. I know I said what's up to some of y'all. Guns from the Grave. Good to see you. Dean Chenamemba. Jake the Great Man. Good to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I hope you and your family are all good. I know it's been a minute. John Crump. What up? What up? Flying Reg, IPS, good to see you, brother. Dying Nexus, what's cracking? Night Custom Build, Chamber Defense, the GD Bacon. Look at y'all, God damn. Would love to hear what y'all had for dinner as well. To throw a little, swoop to the algorithm. Alpha 3DP, what's poppin'? PD Ralph said, "Hey, Flying Rich." All y'all. Good to see y'all, man. Thank you for coming in. And that's it. Okay, now I'm done. Now I'm not running the show. You got control of the whole show, brother.
Wait, bro, you forgot Kurt 24 was the first one to message today.
You're right.
Yeah.
Kurt 24, you were the first one. So you get a crisp thumbs up.
I watch your show, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. So, for the people that don't know you, let the people know who is Dark.
Um, damn, that's a complex question. I mean, for like first, a husband, a father, and I'm a gun dude, man. I love guns, like to the point where sometimes I make mistakes in my normal everyday life. Like I slack off on like business or work or like whatever because I'm fucking with guns. I'm always tinkering in my gun room.
That's dope, bro.
Yeah, man.
And another question I have for you is, have you always been a 2A fan, like a pro 2A, or no?
Um, uh, so yes and no. So I've always been into firearms. Like so even as a kid, and I made this kind of joke on stream before, um, even as a kid, I'd be like taking toilet paper rolls and paper towel rolls and making like a little Gatling gun and run around the house. And, I've always loved firearms. Mostly like when I was younger, I loved like their aesthetics. Like I loved like how they looked. they were just these beautiful pieces of machinery that were unobtainium. Like I couldn't get them, I couldn't have them. Um, I remember you telling your story about your dad getting a 32, right, and busting that joint off in the crib, and it's kind of interesting too because my dad had one gun, and it was like the don't touch it, don't talk about it, don't tell, that kind of thing. It was a Marlin 3030. He still has it, and at that age, like it was something that I kind of like more so just I loved what it looked like, right? But as I got older and started to kind of get my hands on them, go shooting, you know, legally, whatever, getting my hands on guns. I don't know, man. I fell in love just the way they work, how they work, like the design of them, what they're capable of. There were so many other like layers to them. But from there, like later on, I started to understand that it wasn't just about, oh, these things are cool, oh, they're pretty, oh, they're sexy, oh, they're powerful. It was like these are built in with our God-given rights. There's the correlation with the Constitution and our God-given rights, and everything kind of came later on in life.
That's dope. Um, we got a question from the audience, and I think it's Flying Rich saying, "Do you live in your mom's basement?" No, bro. I actually did his yard. He has a nice place. And I didn't see his mom unless she was out. Was your mom out, bro?
That's true. She could have
That's
been fetching the groceries.
oh,
No, so I don't live in my mom's basement. With the cost of living in Virginia, at times I wish I did. But no, no, I'm got my own crib. Got a little family myself, and this when we moved more recently, I made a commitment to myself. I was like, the next place that we move, I'm going to have a gun room. I'm going to have a room that is exclusively dedicated to firearms, which is hilarious when you have like service people coming over. I had like, the pest guy that sprays, for bugs every like few months or whatever. And he kind of trips out every time he comes over. I'm like, yeah, in the gun room, I noticed that he's like, dude, I trip out that you have a gun room. He's a military dude, but it's kind of funny.
that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
The question I have for you is, how was your upbringing, bro? Like, was your family pro 2A, or how
Mm.
how was it growing up? Because I know you mentioned your dad had a gun, but
Yeah.
what about
So
your
they were not pro 2A. Um, the firearm that my father had was kind of treated like the forbidden fruit, right? Like, wasn't supposed to touch it, wasn't supposed to go near it. I wasn't even supposed to know where it was. The ammunition was kept in a separate place. My dad never maintained it, never fired it, never took us shooting. Um, but it's part of like, so Virginia is this really weird kind of place, and this will kind of go coincide with what you're asking. Um, you have this like 30-minute area that's around DC where like on the outskirts of it, you're basically born and given a shotgun like at birth. Like in the more rural area, you're given a shotgun, at birth, right? All jokes aside, like very, very open, firearm ownership and usage. Um, as you get closer to the city, as you get closer to DC, I mean, there are a lot of people that are, kind of the mindset that guns are only for cops and robbers. Like, those are the only people that have guns because there was, for so long, handguns were literally illegal in DC. Like, you were not allowed to own a handgun in DC. Um, and then that finally changed. But I think it only changed in like 2004.
wasn't it
So
like, the politicians were only allowed to carry a gun inside DC?
Not politicians, but like Secret Service, police, housing police, because there's a lot of like housing projects out there, um, and there were some people. So I mean, I guess in a way, yes, like politicians and business owners that carry large amounts of cash that had a documented threat that have been shot before. Like the bar was so high, but then again, that was firearm ownership. That wasn't actually carrying because handguns were literally illegal. It was DC versus Heller that changed that.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So another
So
thing,
so I'm sorry, I didn't even fully answer your question. My apologies. So the reason for me bringing that up was to say that you at times you kind of end up with this like um, this mindset of like, okay, we're kind of in the middle, right? We're a little further away from the city. We're a little further away from kind of the rural, more country area. We're kind of smack in the middle, so we are aware of guns. We know we are allowed to own guns, but we don't carry them. We don't shoot them. We don't practice with them. And they are only here for the worst case scenario, which will never happen anyway, right? And
never.
we just have it because I bought it from Sears and Roebuck in the 70s for $100, and I got one box of ammo, and it's been sitting there just like that for forever. So that kind of thing.
Did you see what Rich put?
No, no.
He says you need to ask questions like fuck, kill, marry Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, or AOC.
Oh my
So,
God. Well,
so who would you fuck? Who would you kill? And who would you marry, bro?
Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, or AOC.
Yeah.
Bro, I would like fold over my body over a grenade before but just for the sake of the stream. So
Yeah.
fuck, kill, marry Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, or AOC. So I would smash AOC. I
Yeah.
would I would murk oh damn it.
It's hard, bro. I wanna kill both of them
I
allegedly.
know that I was gonna make a joke that I was just gonna murk both of them, but um, oh man, because I'm not smashing the other two, man. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
have to murk them all. That's it, and I'm gonna have to go out with them. I'll say this: I'd smash AOC. How about that?
yeah, that I'll smash AOC too.
Hmm.
Looks like she cooked some really good Spanish food or something like that. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
stay away from Latinas, guys. Latinas are crazy. Don't take them to the kitchen if you're having an argument with them because they will stab you, break anything around that they have. If they're gonna use it as a weapon, I'm
Yeah,
talking from
yeah.
experience.
They'll throw
They'll
anything
throw
and everything:
it.
knives, shoes, bottles. I grew up in a like an area that was highly densely populated with Hispanics, a lot of MS-13 and 18th Street, and also Amor de Rey, or whatever, Latin
Yeah,
Kings.
letting things
Yeah, yeah. Amor de Rey. There you go.
get
That's
like
more smooth.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, Now our stream is going to get knocked down because we're saying
Yeah, bro,
things
because of all that stuff that's coming in the comments, bro. I've been looking at that. You guys need
yeah,
to put like
yeah,
pizza, glizzies, I don't know, tacos,
yeah,
barbecue,
right.
some
Yeah.
shit like that. Because now everybody's just
Chicken,
talking about KFC, bro. I mean, I don't know. Okay, let's
chicken biscuits and burritos and
yeah,
pasta
come on,
meatballs.
man.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so another question I have for you is, what type of upbringing did you have, bro? Like, were they very conservative, or was it a little bit more, let him do his own thing and stuff like that? How was it growing up for you
So you mean conservative in the sense of like politically, or
in
um,
general? How
like in the
some
way
parents,
that they parented?
yeah,
So I'm the youngest of five kids, and we had a big family. And I mean, when we were growing up, like we were so poor that my mom would literally cut hot dogs in half. And every now and then, my brother and some friends that like people that know me will actually watch the stream. So if y'all are out there, y'all are gonna laugh about this, mostly because y'all already know. But So we were so poor that my mom would literally cut hot dogs in half and put them on the bun and like make it look like it was a whole joint, but it was really just, so she could stretch the food. But they were they were much more focused on the older kids because they were kind of starting to get into trouble and shit like that. So I was kind of just like forgotten. Like I was just the fifth kid that was just like left alone, go out and play, go do something, as long as I wasn't bothering people, I was good. So I was kind of left alone, which is how I kind of ended up getting into trouble later on in life. Cause dude, I got in a lot of trouble later on in life when I grew up.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
Bro,
yeah.
you guys need to stop with that AOC shit and Pelosi shit. Come on, man.
Are they still
Or
going?
it's
I'm not even. I'm,
it's funny though, but now it's just overboard now, bro. I don't wanna be in a watch list. They're gonna be like, what is Dark doing with this Mexican terrorist?" And then shit just goes left. Um,
cheat, cheat on
please don't.
Pelosi with AOC. That's great.
Yeah. uh, All right. So
Oh,
now,
bro. Okay, hold on. So Bacon asks, did Dark ever eat one of those mustard sandwiches where you could almost taste the meat? Okay, bro. So one of the things that I would do when I was so hungry, but I just had to do something and I didn't have permission to eat. You had like in my household, you had to have permission to eat. You had to have
yeah,
permission to take food out of the kitchen. You had like you could not just like I remember when I was a kid and I had those big buckets of Legos, like this big. Um, I would run to the kitchen and I would like steal grapes out of the fridge and come back and set them on top of my Lego thing and like be like eating them. And I mean, my parents really wouldn't have tripped out if I just like asked for them, but it
yeah.
was just me being a stupid kid. But my shit was two pieces of bread, one piece of Kraft like single cheese and mustard. That's what we call a wish sandwich because you wish there was some meat on that motherfucker.
Yeah, bro. We had something similar in our culture, but it was more like you would get a tortilla, and then you would, instead of adding any cheese or anything like that, that was if you were really like on tough times, like rent was doing shit like that, and you'll get salt. So you would put salt on the tortilla, and then that's how you would eat, bro. Like
So you
tortilla
would
with
you
salt.
just have sauce?
No, no, just salt,
Oh,
like salt.
salt, like
Yeah, yeah.
SALT?
Yeah, salt, sal. So
Damn.
you would warm up the tortilla, and then you would just get it out and add a little bit of salt on it, and then that would try to hold you till, because my mom used to cook, uh, dinner and meals, like, 3 times a day, so the morning, midday, and then, we had our dinner, but the dinner was all we couldn't eat till my dad got home. So once my dad got home, then everybody would sit around the table and eat.
Mhm.
So, if my dad had, like, a long day at work or something like that, we had to wait for him, and we'll be
Yeah.
like, "We're hungry," but if times were hard, we would do that, or like you said, just do the hot dog stuff, and then, sometimes we wouldn't have hot dog bread, bro, and I was starving, and I would have to use, like, a regular
Piece of
sandwich
bread.
bread.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's crazy,
Shit, honestly, I just did that the other day with, my daughter.
bro, I still do that sometimes, man.
Dude,
Alright,
I mean, honestly, like, when you're hungry, man, it's like, whatever you gotta do, it's one thing, because we cook with a lot of, like, Hispanic influence, I guess, not it's not
yeah,
anything I noticed until, like, having this conversation, but, um, one of the things I'll do is I'll take a tortilla and I'll cut it kind of like you cut pizza slices out, and then I'll
mhm.
throw it in a pan with some olive oil and salt, and I'll just toast them up just like you would do tortilla chips, and then just eat them like that. Or take the 99-cent can of um, Pintos, heat them
The homie
joints up with
that
some
says
cheese.
John is asking if I ever had a hot dog tamales growing up. Nah, bro. The only time we had tamales was in Christmas, and because that's the only shit we were unwrapping, bro. That's it. That
Damn.
but,
Damn.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
that was good.
For reals, man. We didn't, I think we only every Christmas, we were hardly here, so we would always go back to the native land. Um, my mom and dad like going to Mexico for Christmas, so I remember we only had 1 Christmas here, um, and we got, the Nintendo 64, the Donkey Kong edition. I'm gonna say my age probably, but it was the green one with the rumble pack or something like that. I don't know if you guys remember that shit.
That was one gaming system that I never got into was the N64. But we around Christmas we would usually do one gift per kid. But I mean, it's like 5 kids, 2 parents, and then we had a big ass family. And now, like later on in life, like you got 5 kids that all got kids. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
my oldest brother is roughly a decade older than me, so
Mhm.
there's a lot of time between us. Really, I mean, roughly 2 years between all of us, and this is more information than I've ever given out about myself, like ever. Like I've never never given this information, like, but at this point I'm like, fuck it, right? But we would do one gift, and I remember one Christmas. It would never really be like what I like wanted. I was always grateful for it, but it would never really be like what I wanted. And one year I got this Ninja Turtle sword that I wanted, and I was a kid, man. I was probably like 8, maybe 8 to 10, like something like that. Probably, yeah, let's say 8. And my parents were like, no toy guns, no toy knives, no toy until like later on, because they were, as a kid, they would all call me weapon obsessed. They'd be like, yo, you are weapon obsessed. You are making guns out of cardboard and paper towel rolls, and like, you're crazy.
Bro, they thought you were gonna be like one of those serial killer dudes or something.
For real, I think they thought that. But it's funny though, because it's kind of changed like later on in life. I'm not the only one with firearms in my family, I'll tell you that shit.
Well, I
But
was gonna ask that later on, but go ahead, man.
yeah, well, on that, I just so I
What
remember.
they do with that sword, bro? Did somebody break it or not? The
What's
truth.
that?
Did, like, your brothers end up breaking that sword? Because I feel like they took that sword away from you, bro.
I think
Like, your brother.
I think I ended up breaking it, and I broke it like right at the hilt, probably doing something stupid. But the dope thing is that I didn't know. Like we had a Polaroid back then, and I didn't know that my sister took a picture of me when I opened it, and it was this like face that like was so unnaturally like,
Yeah.
I can't even describe it. Like it was crazy. And a couple years ago, my sister was like, "Yo, you remember this?" And she showed me. I was like, "Damn!" It
Bro, we
was
need to see that
crazy.
picture.
Man, it's dope. I'll see if I can get that picture and I'll post
That'll
it.
be dope. Alright, I got a question, bro, and this is
Mhm.
coming a request. How did you meet, CarneCon?
So I I kind of didn't. I never met Dugan. So Dugan Ashley was the dude that started. Well, him and a couple guys started Carnicon, which was Carnivorous Kinetic Concepts,
Oh,
and it's a dope concept. Like at that point, when they came out with Carnicon, like no one else was really doing that. They weren't doing like comedy satire, but like packed with real and real good information. And I don't know. They blew up, right? So I became such a I won't even call myself a viewer. I became
mm,
a fan, straight up fan, and I found them like when they were still releasing videos, and I don't know, maybe a few months later, the channel was deleted off of YouTube. It was completely gone, and there was some internal drama that you know, had happened, that Dugan said, "You know what? Like, I don't like what the channel's become. I don't like what I've become. I don't like the whole shit about money and control and power and all that. So you know what? fuck this, bloop, delete. And there's a lot more of other shit that like he can come out and say if he wants to about the channel and other people. But somebody archived the channel and kind of kept the shit alive because it was fucking masterful. Like at that time, like people weren't putting that much time and energy and editing and content and all that into it. So I was such a fan that like when he disappeared and he disappeared off of the internet, people were saying like he killed the channel and disappeared because he got diagnosed with MS. But he had already been diagnosed with MS like well before that. So it wasn't like from what I understand, and I may have my timeline messed up. So I was just a fan. I was just a viewer, and I would literally like just periodically search Carnicon, Dugan Ashley, all the shit, and just look up if he's posting anything. And one day I saw some dude post like Dugan is back, and I was like what? Like there's no fucking way this has got to be fake. And I see it, and it's him, like in his truck, in a garage, like talking. And he's talking normal as shit. And I'm
Oh
like, yo, this isn't Carnicon, but this
shit.
is Dugan Ashley. Like, what the fuck? So I became a viewer of that, and he was putting out like real, true information. It wasn't like, oh, like, let's talk about guns and shit. It was like, let's talk about the world. Let's talk about world history. Let's talk about the United States. Let's talk about our government. Let's talk about how the fucking government is literally completely, they have taken complete control of our lives. They literally have their finger on the switch of our water, of our food, of our shelter, of our security, that we've been fucking brainwashed into, being servants, and none of us are fucking awake to it. And I mean, Dugan fucking woke me up. And from there, I just started talking to him through YouTube. Then we started talking through email. Then we started talking on the phone. And then we created a Discord server, started talking through Discord, started kind of like developing like a, I don't know, I would love to say a friendship, but I mean, he was just like a guy, right? And I'm just a guy,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just fucking dudes that have never met each other that were fucking talking on the internet. Like it seems stupid as fuck now that I'm saying it out loud, but um, I mean,
I think I mean, we all do that, right? I think that's what we're doing right now, bro.
yeah, I mean, for real, that's really that's what it is. But I had such a connection to him because not only did I love everything from his past and from the Carnicon days, but I had such a respect for him opening up my eyes to what the fuck is really going on, and to the fact that I don't have any fucking control in my life. And I was like, damn, that's terrifying, and a like the realest experience that you can go through is understanding that your life, like everything, you've been programmed. You are a fucking servant to the world, the government, and you don't even know it. And you're like convinced that you're free through convenience and consumerism because of the ease of access to things like food and water and guns, and because everyone always says like nothing bad will ever happen because there'll be a rifle behind every blade of grass, man, right? Whatever. But
There's so many people that are gonna end up giving their weapons up and listening to what they're telling them because they're gonna believe it, bro. I mean, they're
yeah,
gonna believe it, and
yeah,
they're gonna just say, okay, look, they're gonna take us somewhere safe, and you're going to fucking FEMA concentration camps,
yeah, yeah,
supposedly, but I don't know, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
So
yeah, I
yeah,
believe it, man. And I believe that we'll experience something like that within our lifetimes. um I'm kind of torn on that, but I think we likely will. But if I've always been a prepper to some degree, and I hate to use that terminology, but like that's the only term that I could use that like everyone would understand, which is like I would like to be as prepared as possible for any event that may potentially limit my access to water, food, shelter, and security. So that could be a fucking tidal wave. That could be a storm. That could be, power outage. That could be a fucking government takeover. That could be our own fucking government, you know. I mean, look at the last 2 years. Like, they've
I
had
mean,
the entire world by the fucking balls.
let's just say this, bro. Everybody's moving into electric cars, and all these electric cars now they're controlled. They have a kill switch, and I think they are passing a law where all the newer vehicles are gonna have to have a kill switch. So if they're preparing for something, they're telling you right in your face. You're not gonna have a car that you could jump in and take off as far as you want if shit hits the fan because now your car can only go a certain amount of miles, and they have a kill switch. So if they don't want you to leave, they're not gonna let you leave. What are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah.
It's
Boom,
I
Thumb
mean,
McBangy Hand says, "Everything is fine. Go back to sleep."
nah,
It's so
it's
true. That's what the world wants to tell us. It's like, no, man, you can order food to your door. It'll be delivered same day from Amazon. And bro, I fucking canceled Amazon. I canceled fucking Netflix. I canceled HBO Max. I canceled fucking Disney Plus. I canceled fucking ABC Mouse. I canceled anything with, relation to the fucks that are controlling the world. I was like, fuck it, I don't want it. I don't want it in my house. I don't want it in my daughter's head. I don't want to feed the beast. I mean, now naturally, here I am on fucking YouTube, right? Like, this is part of the beast, right? But unfortunately, there's the other piece of it that we have to acknowledge. Like, this is the world that we live in, right? It's kind of the same thing. Like, you know, I am a free man. In my head, I am a free man, and I am as free as I choose to be psychologically. With that said, I could build a machine gun right now. I could literally build a
yeah,
machine gun right now. Now I don't, because I'm acknowledging the world that I live in. That would be a bad thing, right? I have fear
mhm,
of incarceration. And
correct.
there's this fine line of like, yes, I'm free, but I'm choosing to fall in line on some things because one, I'm not a fucking, stupid ass and don't want to, it's just fear of incarceration, which if you break that down, fear of incarceration is fear of our armed government soldiers and yeah, so that's kind of
It's
it. But
at the same
the
time,
other thing
bro,
too, I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
at the same time, you have a family, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
when you that's how I'm not gonna say that's how they get you, but you have a daughter, you want your daughter to see you, and when they take you in and you're incarcerated, you die, bro. You really
Yeah.
die. Like,
Yeah.
time stops. I mean, nowadays they got phones in there and all this stuff, but
Mhm. Mhm.
people really forget about you. Like, you're
Yeah.
waiting there
Yeah.
every day to get a letter. You're not getting anything. Sometimes you can't make calls. It's like you're dead and everybody's living, and then you get out and everything changes, and you gotta get back into being a productive member of society, and
With
you're
F's on
behind.
your record.
So yeah, I mean, it just the system is rigged, but at the
Yeah.
same time, uh, it doesn't matter what cards you were dealt. It's how you play them. So
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, and that's kinda true, like, so I have a little bit of a rough history, and, most people here already know that, I had struggled with substance abuse most of my life, and I was a heroin addict, and I've been clean for over 11 years now, but, like, thank you, appreciate that.
That's true.
Damn, that's what's up. We got the fucking, laugh track joint, clap track.
Yeah, right, bro.
Yeah, yeah. But, with that comes a lot of other things, right? Like, the circles that I ran in, the people that I was with, the people that I care about. Like, um, almost every single childhood friend is either dead, in jail, or still using drugs.
Yeah,
And I've seen that cycle, right? Like, I was almost in that cycle, and I remember standing outside of a courtroom and I was like, if I, you know, I don't want to give out too much information, but basically, if I, go too far down this direction, depending on what this fucking judge says, I'm gonna
Yeah,
say fuck it, and I don't care about anything anymore, and I'm gonna be all the way bad forever.
yeah, you're
If I
gonna go
go
all
in
out.
there and the judge shows mercy and I'm forgiven and whatever, then I'm gonna be all the way good, forever. And that was kind of that fork in the road, and I was blessed to walk away with not the issues that I was scared of at that point. But I've seen so many people slip into that system where they do not you're not released. Even when you're set free, even when you walk out those doors and you go back into the world, you are never truly released. And the same thing from addiction, right? Like here I am fucking over a decade clean and I'm still in recovery,
Yeah, you could anything could trigger you, bro. Any little thing could trigger you, and then you get those urges, and then you're calling up somebody, or
yeah,
they say that when you're an addict, that getting high is not just what makes you an addict, is when you go looking for it, scoring it, when you
yeah,
go out there and you're doing all these missions to try to find it, and
yeah,
then finally you get it. So it's a whole circle, bro. It's a whole
yeah,
journey.
yeah,
And, addiction sucks. People don't understand it, but addiction, it sucks, bro.
yeah, yeah. Uh, my thing personally, from like the psychological aspect of it, like at this point, I do have through years of therapy and through years of getting to know myself and through years of getting clean, relapsing, getting clean, relapsing, getting clean, relapsing. Most people don't examine that part of their lives. Like, they just say, oh, I relapsed, and then they move forward whatever direction they go. They don't sit back and examine, like, okay, specifically what happened, what decisions did I make, why did I make those decisions, and then what happened for me to get to that point. And then if you can't sit down and like have a conversation with yourself and really dig in deep and work on your discipline, work on yourself, your health, your growth, like set fucking goals, anything, then you're gonna be damned to the same type of circle that incarceration is, but it's handcuffs, right? And kind of like we were talking about with the government, right? Like they want you handcuffed. They want all of us handcuffed. They want us handcuffed. Oh, nice, man.
Remember,
Boom Thumb McBengy Hand. Thank you for the channel membership, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Shout out. Um, they want you handcuffed, right? Whether it's here, I'll leave that up for a minute. Whether it's your own actions through your commerce, right? Whether it's your consumerism and you being trapped in convenience, or whether it's you know the legal system, or whether it's substance abuse, or whether it's just addiction to fucking women and gambling or whatever. They want you handcuffed to be, to minimize as much of a threat from the general public as possible. And when you are in a position of power and you have the ability to say, okay, I'm going to thin out families, right? So nowadays families aren't having 5 kids that are
no,
fucking military aged males that are armed, that are prepared to fight for the country they love. Because when I grew up, I did the fucking Pledge of Allegiance every day. I fucking prayed. I was taught to have a relationship with God. I was taught to take care of my sisters. I was taught to fucking open the door for people. I was taught to
facts.
care about everyone, right? To truly love humans in general. And we don't have that anymore. Now we have
No,
a world where, every single person is becoming like eh, just people don't matter anymore. Individuals don't matter.
I think,
The
part of the problem is that now for everything that's wrong with us, they got a solution. They got a magical pill that's gonna fix it. So instead of us sitting down and realizing, you know what, we gotta go inside ourselves and fight our own demons and figure out why we have these demons and let shit go. Like create space. I tell a lot of people, it's like you got a cup of water, right? And you leave that cup of water outside and it keeps raining, and of course it's going to stay full, but what's going to happen, the water's going to stay dirty, right? It's going to get
Mhm.
dirty from the debris, from whatever falls in it. So what you got to do, you need to do is you got to empty all that stuff out, refill your cup again, and keep it clean. And I think that's what a lot of us are scared of, that we're scared of opening old wounds because they hurt.
Mhm.
But you don't realize that the only way to help ourselves out is to actually fix ourselves first, before, because we could start something in our lives and we could say that that person's the problem and we move on, and the same thing keeps happening, man, till
Yeah.
we realize that we were the problem and we
That's
need to reset ourselves.
that's absolutely right. That's the they want to synthesize victims, right? They want a world full of victims that are looking for the easy button, that don't have discipline, that don't exercise discipline, that don't, work on themselves. That because it's so easy to create problems and then create the solution and then profit from it, and that's what the government has
Right.
been doing. And not only the government, but several families, about a dozen very, very powerful families have been
Yeah.
doing this for centuries. And the way I see it is, when you look back at like all the documents that were created around the founding of this country, every single everything you hear of is like discussing people of virtue and prudent people and disciplined people, and like the way that they talk about the general public as being virtuous, you know people of prudence, and like that shit is gone because they want to completely remove personal responsibility and install dependence. And when everybody is dependent on the government, when everyone's dependent on a medication, when everyone's dependent on a fucking, something, a show, right? Or
Yeah,
addicted to porn or fucking whatever. There's so many things that people are, you dependent on, that it removes personal responsibility.
exactly. And I think sometimes we forget that feeling emotions is not normal, bro. It's okay to feel like shit some days. It's
Yeah,
okay to be happy and it's okay to cry. And I think a lot of times we just don't want to feel certain stuff, and it's
yeah,
normal. I mean, we all have crappy days. We all have good days. I think at the end of the day, we got to realize what's the reason behind those crappy days. And most of the time, we'll realize that it's us, that we
yeah.
ourselves got involved and got so into our head that we created a situation that might not be completely true.
Most of it is, and it's very true. Most of it is stuff that we do and we don't do, but the world that we're in tells us that it's not your fault. It's because you have more melanin in your skin than I do, that you've been targeted, and victimized, and you're owed things, and whatever. And that may be very true, right? Like I've seen some things happen. Which is, I know that's another conversation, but when you can create victims and create dependency, that for the United States government, that's a fucking gold mine, man.
Sometimes I get misty eye when I open the booze fridge and I'm running low. Yeah, it happens.
Hmm.
Okay, so one question that I have, um, and probably it'll be the last one that I have to ask you is how did you start all of this? Like, how did your show start, and how did you move it from what you're doing now to what you were doing before to doing now? Like, you've always been interviewing 2 8 people, or
Yeah.
how did you start your show?
kind of, so not, I mean, not really. It's kind of a complex story, but so getting to know Dugan and talking with him at that time, and Dugan, if you're out there, miss you, brother, love you, brother. Um, at that time, me, Dugan, and another dude that went by Light, um, we had a phone conversation. It's funny because like I originally, and we're about to go way back right here. So
Yeah,
when I was talking with Dugan on a more regular basis, and I know this may open up some wounds or whatever, guys, and I'm sorry. Okay, I love all you guys, but it's it's a good question, and it's important to have the conversation of like the evolution. Um, I remember talking with the dude Light, and he was so like he loved Carnicon and loved Dugan as much as I did. And one day he hit me up, and he was like going through stress and drama and bullshit. And I was like, hey, just out of curiosity, would it cheer you up if I could like, you know, maybe get you on the phone with Dugan? And he was like, what? Like, I mean, yeah, like absolutely, that would create. And his tone switched. He became excited, and and I always my thing, like the thing that makes me happy, the thing that brings me joy, is being able to make an impact on somebody else, whether it's something small, whether it's like the other day I was going through the drive-through, and I was getting some shit from McDonald's, which I don't usually eat unless I'm eating McFlurries, which I do eat McFlurries, but. After I paid, I asked the lady, I was like, how much is the guy's order behind me? She was like, it's like four something. I was like, all right, pay for his too. She was like, what? Like she was blown away. Like I had to explain it to her in like Spanglish of like, why I was doing it. And making an impact on other people makes me happy. So at the time, Light, I wanted to make an impact on him, right? So I was like, connecting with you with Dugan would be huge. And he kept like telling me to like send in like messages and shit like that. So I was like, fuck it, let's get on the phone. So long story short, we got on the phone, and me, Light, and Dugan had a conversation that I swear to God was almost 3 fucking hours. Okay. And it was one of the best, coolest conversations that like you could ever imagine. And the energy from us like feeding off of each other and the flow was like we were like, man, we could turn this into a show, you know? And OP said, I bet Dark never thought he'd be interviewed on his own fucking channel. SABR is making moves. Hell yeah. And guys, make sure you go subscribe to SABR's channel, man. They're doing some really cool things over there, and like doing the pre-roast before Ralph's roast. And if we could push them to like 200, that would be fucking epic, man.
I would appreciate
Um,
that, guys.
Dark goes to the hood to get McFlurries. Yeah, I kind of do. Was it Light talking most of the time?
So that's
Oh,
like that's the only place that the ice cream machine's always working in the hood.
I know, right? They don't
Yeah,
clean it, but it does
yeah,
work.
but it works, and I think
Yeah,
that's why it works because they don't touch it. So
yeah, yeah. So, we had a conversation, and during that conversation, we were like, "Bro, like, we could, like" oh, yeah, so the pre-roast is, every Friday, from, what, 8 to 9?
yeah. So what time is Ralph's?
9.
Yeah. So ours is we moved it to 7:30. So
Okay,
yeah, cause for time, so 7:30 till whatever time Ralph's stuff starts, and
gotcha.
then people go see Ralph's stuff.
Word. Hell
Yeah,
yeah. So, basically, after this conversation, Light is like, "Bro, let's, like, do this, let's do this," and we're all like, "Okay, like, hell yeah, let's do it." And, we said, "Let's do this as a podcast. Let's say fuck YouTube. We don't wanna, you know, feed the beast, so to speak, so let's do this through a podcast."
yeah,
So I looked into it. I found an app called Anchor, and Anchor is something where you can literally just go on, send the invite, and we just sit down, we chill, and we chat, have a conversation, and it is syndicated through all major podcasting So if you go look up, originally the name of the channel was Dark Light Dugan, right? DLD, because that was our three names, and the podcasts are all still out there. They're all still out there, and it was syndicated with like everything from Spotify to Apple Podcasts to
My
everything.
customs, I can't be doing that, bro. I'm in California.
What's that? What's that?
He says, to start doing some Magnum shorts, your subs will go up quickly, and I'm like, "Nah, bro, I'm in California."
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, do some 9.5 round magnums. um, so basically, we started it as a podcast. We did that for several months, maybe 4 to 6. I don't even remember. Right? We had the
Yeah,
Discord server of like just under 1,000, maybe 800 people, and then we had which all came from Dugan's channel at the time, right? Like this had nothing to do with me or Light. We just were there for the podcast, and honestly, most people were there for Dugan, right? Like they weren't coming to like hear me speak, right? They were coming to hear Dugan speak mostly. But the energy that we had was good. Like we all kind of bounced shit off of each other. Well, we all had different kind of energy, different deliveries, different everything. It was cool. Um, and then after a while, we spoke with Dugan, and we were like, "Yo, let's do a stream and let's start a channel." We found that StreamYard, you didn't need 1,000 subs on YouTube, whether it's the algorithm or whatever. It doesn't pick up the fact because you're streaming through a proxy.
yeah,
Um, you can stream with 0 subscribers on YouTube if you wanted to. And thank you guys for all the people that are subbing to
yeah.
SABR.
That's cool.
Appreciate you guys. Um,
Behind the three lines, guys.
mhm. So basically, we set up a channel. I went and I set it up, and that was a conversation with all three of us. They were like, "Dark, you go set up the YouTube channel and figure that shit out," and I did. And so it was always kind of under me. I always had control of it. When we went and streamed, I set up the links. I sent them out to everyone, and then we went live. So it was just kind of like the way shit went. And then after a while, some drama popped off, and it before that, Dugan was already like, "Man, I can't keep this shit up, man. I can't stream for 2 to 3 hours 3 times a week. I got a family," and we all did. We all have families,
Yeah,
and Light was going through personal things too, and I kind of was too, and but it's like I was like, fuck this, I'm not going to give up, man. Like I love this, I love what we're doing, and I love being able to come on, have a guest, put some shit out, and if there's like one piece of valuable information that somebody could get from it, they leave and they're like, yes, like I have acquired something because of this channel, and that's just so dope to me. And basically fucking Dugan was already leaving, and Light was kind of half in half out. um, yeah, we never really cared about dark things, corn pop. And we just fucking let Dugan go off and do his thing, and then it was me and Light. So then Dark Light Dugan turned into Dark Light Discussions, and I was like, let's do something dope, like put After Dark, right? Because like it's kind of like after the drama, right? But then it's also like got like the spin of dark on it, and it allows us to keep the acronym that we started with, which is DLD. And then from there, we had issues between Light and I, and I still care about him, and I hope he's doing well, him and his family. But it wasn't working out, so it was like, all right, like I'm just going to keep doing this no matter what. Even if no one else shows up, I'm still going to come on every Tuesday, every Thursday, every Saturday, and I'm going to stream. If it's just me, I'm going to stream. I'm going to get guests. I'm going to, do whatever. If I can find someone or something that's going to be helpful, entertaining, valuable, whatever, I'm going to do it. And even though we focus so much more on like the self-sustainability and like the what people call like prepper type shit, survival type shit, you know, because it's kind of been me and I'm just a fucking gun nut, you know, love you too, corn pop. It's really transitioned to mostly like a gun channel, but I personally I would call it like a gun channel, a freedom, liberty, independence, self-preservation, survival, fucking like everything channel. Like that's kind of us. And at times we be doing, you know, some other shit too.
They want that channel member, bro.
Chana member. Dear God, you were sheltered, BB. I never knew who the hell Dugan even was until here on YouTube with DLD After Dark. Damn, that's what's up. That's a cool thing too, man. Is that a lot of like newer, like younger cats, they had no fucking idea what Carnicon was. You know how many fucking people email me and they're like, bro, I just found out who Carnicon was through your channel, and I went back and watched all their fucking videos, and I'm blown away. Where are they? Why did they stop? What did they? So like we're putting like the new cats on the fucking Carnicon that never saw that shit before, and that's
Bro,
just
I barely found out today.
for real.
Yeah, well, I mean, I seen, once I saw where he did one with the chicken, and the chicken had, like, eyes, you know? I remember seeing it when I started being part of the toy community, but then early today is when I actually realized, like, "Okay, damn, this is pretty cool." So after I finish here, I'm probably gonna, watch some of that stuff because it looks entertaining.
Dude, it is. It's like life changing shit, and you know, I kind of, and this could be uh a little hint, right? I kind of
Mhm.
wish that he kept it, ran with it, let it build, let it grow, and then when it got larger, hit the switch up, and then was like, boom, kind of like though some people would say he's controlled opposition, right? He's not really with like the side of freedom. JP Awakening kind of did that, right? He came on, he started a comedy channel, and
Yeah.
all of his shit was just funny, comedy, entertaining. So everyone joined him from like regardless of what their political belief and affiliation was, like
Mhm.
they came on because he was funny. And then he started like really being like hardcore, like about freedom and regardless if he truly is or not, right? This is the internet. We never fucking know who people are. Um,
Yeah.
you know, he started like really drilling home like freedom and liberty and really shitting on the leftist extremists and government and you know like that switch is so dope because like how much commitment do you have to like what you believe in, right? Like to where you'll sit down for fucking 3 1 2 3 hours 3 times a week or more and you'll sit there and you'll do a show about guns knowing that in the future if you do get the platform that you would like to and intend to, that you may just flip the script one day and go out there and wake some folks up and tell the truth. And, you know, I'm just saying, I'll just say that.
So, yeah, man. Um,
And I
so what
appreciate
so
you. Oh, what's up? Yeah.
you wanna interview me now or what? Do the people
Sure,
wanna hear
man.
some more story?
Yeah, I was gonna say I appreciate you not asking me what my name is and you know exactly where I'm located and you know.
Bro, I was already there, remember? I did some lawn work for you, that's why we're here.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
that's right, that's right, that's right. Although you did kind of mention my my name. He was
oh,
like,
he
"Yo, I
did?
heard your name was Dave. Is that true?" I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" It's kind of funny, but whatever. At this point, I'm not tripping. Um, yeah. So a couple things, kind of before starting. What made you like want to interview me?
Uh, I don't know, I seen you interview a lot of people, bro, and then, we've been talking and, we were trying to link up and stuff like that, and then I'm like, "You know what? Let me interview him," like, 'cause I went through your stuff, and I don't think I seen, like, you really talk about being you, you know? Like, I mean, like, look, I'm gonna tell you something. The reason I started doing what I started doing, which it started with the podcast, was because I wanted to get to know the people behind the social media. You know how you say, "Oh, well, it's just social media. You could be whoever you want." Well, it's true.
Mhm.
You could be whoever you want, but you cannot keep up that uh, persona for so long, right?
Yeah,
Especially when you talk to somebody, like, even though we're not face to face, we're seeing each other's face. I'm listening to the tone of your voice, and I could tell, like, oh, this was bullshitting or not. But I mean, you were being honest with everything you were saying. So I'm like, you know what? Let me try to get him to talk about himself because I mean, you're always doing the interviews, but
yeah,
um, I think now your viewers know a little bit more about yourself if they didn't, and I mean, it was a way for us to get to know each other too, in a way, to break the ice. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I think it was an excellent idea. I think it's cool as shit, and I think it also kind of shines a light on your channel too. And I really like would encourage people to subscribe to your channel and check your shit out too because the ideas that you have are great, like the pre-roast. It's funny
Mhm.
because I was actually thinking of the same exact thing. I was like, man, what if we did a pre-roast or an after party and kind of like hosted it like for him. And I was like, man, I don't want to like step on his toes. And then
Yeah.
y'all asked, and he was like, yeah, fuck yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
damn.
So, okay, so the way that it happened was I first started doing podcasting. So the podcast is a Bar Prince 2A, and I
Mhm.
interview a bunch of people that were either following me since the beginning, since I started 3D printing, or that I kind of started to follow, and then, things like that. So the reason I had always wanted to do something like this, but you know how a lot of people, like you said, like a lot of people are busy with life, or you got to really commit when you're doing something like this, especially when you're trying to grow yourself. You got to commit. You got to put in the time, bro. I had this green screen for like almost 2 years, bro.
For
Like,
real?
yeah, like, it was just been sitting there. I bought it because I was gonna do some stuff, and I never did, and
Mhm.
it sat there, and then I'm like, "Well, I'm just gonna use it," you know? So, I mean, now
Yeah.
I had this, I guess, little by little, I was buying stuff to do this. So then when I started doing the interviews, I was like, people were telling me, "Man, like, you should do more stuff," you know? Like, I had people go up to me and be like, "Man, if you could," because I was only posting once a week, every Monday. So I would do the interviews on Friday and then edit them, and I drop them on Monday. And,
Mhm.
people were telling me, "Man, start doing more stuff." And, on my interviews, I got to meet people because we talked. So then I
Yeah.
spoke to Guns from the Grave. Guns from the Grave has I've been following him for a while. He was
Yeah.
my first interview, and then I talked to, uh, w I Print Shit. So I Print Shit, I talked to him, when he was starting with the Glocknoski and everything, and then Tame the Bang.
Mhm.
I forgot how I found Tame the Bang. I think Tame the Bang found me, and we started talking, and I brought him on a show, on a live stream, and then I just came up with the idea, and, we were doing this thing, it's called, the original WTS, We Talk Shit show was on Saturdays, and the
Nice.
idea of that was for us to speak about whatever happened in the community, you know, from Monday till Friday, and then with Saturday, we do a recap, and then, a lot of the stuff we would talk about was pretty much like what happened on Ralph's stuff and things like that. And then, we were in the show, man, and right in the show, I said, "Hey, how about we," because he was getting a lot of those meme guns win, remember?
Yep.
So a lot of those meme guns were winning, and I was like, "Man, how about we take over that meme stuff?" I mean, we talk shit already. We're going for that vibe, of like joking, bullshitting, ha 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 type of
Yeah.
scenario. So I'm like, I said it on the show, and then I'm like, but you know what? I gotta reach out to Ralph. And, I reached out to Ralph and I said, "Hey, look, man, I don't wanna step on your toes or anything like that." And then me and Ralph spoke, and we were gonna originally, we were gonna do it on Saturday, right?
Mhm.
But Ralph is all like, "Nah, man, do it, a roast before the roast." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Damn." So,
Yeah.
Ralph came out with pick the dates for us. So shout out to Ralph, Mr. Candela himself.
Mr.
He
Candela. It's
And
so
then,
funny because from that, like, going back to that show, I was the one that said Candela like 15 times. So I'm glad that he was dubbed the one Mr. Candela, but my bad,
yeah,
go
that's
ahead.
fun, bro. And then, we started doing that, and then iPrint has his Discord, and all of a sudden, we would just chill in the Discord, right? And I don't really like you said, I don't I'm a person that I know myself, and
Mhm,
I have this addictive personality. So when I do certain things, bro, I research, I get into things, right? So
mhm, mhm,
I when I was younger, I'm Mexican, so I had a problem with alcohol, you know what I mean? Um,
mhm,
and it my dad had the same problem, but my dad went to an AA, and then he stopped drinking, and then he got addicted to females, you know? So if you
mhm.
don't if you have an addiction, sometimes we replace it with other addictions.
Yeah,
That's why sometimes we have to figure out why we have an addiction to try to nip it and stop it or get something that's healthier for us.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so I don't really like to drink a lot, right? But then once we did the show and stuff like that, and Ralph said yes, we ended up having the party at iPrincess Discord, and now it's popping, bro. Like that thing is people are going and checking it out.
yeah,
Hopefully you can make it on Friday and chill with us. But it gets wild. Like, I think this Friday was the wildest it had. Like, we had a bunch of people. We had Dianexis, Marconi, a lot. If I forgot your name, I'm sorry, guys. Like I said,
yeah, yeah, 3D Arms is in
yeah,
there,
was there.
3D Alpha Print,
Oh,
and,
you popped up for a huh?
what was that?
You popped up for a bit, right?
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
was in there for a little bit too.
Yeah,
It
I
was,
remember.
it was dope, man, it was cool. You know, the drinking thing, like, I don't really have an issue with drinking, I just don't really drink like that, I think a lot of people think that, because I have issues with other substances, I don't drink, but I just don't drink, but I'll have an occasional drink here and there, but, now for you, like, I know you said that you got into this because, um, you kinda wanted to get to know the person behind the YouTube, like, uh, personality, charade, whatever you wanna call it, right? For some people, I would say charade, right? Because they 'Cause they're not, like, authentic. But, like, did you come into it saying, like, "I'm gonna build a channel that I'm gonna interview 2A people," or were you just like, "I just want a YouTube channel," or, like, what.
Nah, so the thing was that, I was only using YouTube to upload the podcast, and
Okay,
then, when I came into it, I wanted to do two-way people in the 3D environment pretty much. Uh, but the more I'm doing YouTube now, the more it's like anybody that's doing 2A, anybody that's pro 2A, anybody that's about freedom, you know, the
yeah,
First Amendment, the Second Amendment, anybody that represents America, and believes that we should be free to do anything that we're doing as long as we're not affecting anybody around us, is who I want to interview, in general. So it
yes,
just started for 2A 3D printing community pretty much.
yeah, yeah. How long you been
There-
printing?
Um, it's gonna be 2 years. No, no, yeah, like 2 years. Uh, Around October, I think.
Okay,
So October
nice,
will be two
nice.
years. Yeah. So I started printing, kind of around COVID, I guess. But the reason I started printing was because even before COVID, I was already kind of stuck at home 24/7 because my stepdad, he was diagnosed with ALS. So,
Yeah,
uh, me and my mom were kind of his caregivers, right? So, I was stuck here at home taking care of him all day, and then my mom would take care of him at night because, the man is gonna die. Like, he pretty much, is dying in front of us.
yeah,
So in order for me to kind of I couldn't leave because what if I left and, like, my mom had to change him or he had an accident? My mom can't lift him, my mom's a small Mexican lady, like,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I had to pretty much be stuck here, and, I ended up staying here, and I would just do my 3D printing stuff, and that kind of helped me escape uh, what was
Yeah.
going on in my life at that moment. And then after that, after so my all right, so I'm gonna so when my stepdad got diagnosed with ALS, he was probably diagnosed. He probably was okay for like a year, and then after the year, it got bad where he stopped walking, things like that. My
Mm.
son ended up dying November 4th. He passed away. Um, so
Jesus Christ.
it's gonna be 2 years this November that my son passed away. So
What
I had
happened?
uh well the, you so my son, and I guess a lot of kids nowadays, I and a lot of people, I don't know, I just started talking to people and they would say like, I guess he would overthink stuff, you know what I mean? And he would be in his head a lot, right? So my ex-wife ended up taking him to like all this stuff because he wasn't concentrating in class and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
So I guess she took him to whatever you call it. They ended up giving him Xanax, right?
Mm. Mm.
So you know Xanax are very addicting, bro. And
Yeah.
he's a kid, he's a teenager, bro. Like he's gonna take a bar or whatever they were giving him at the time, and he's gonna feel good. All his stuff, you know, because I guess he was always like overthinking stuff in his head. And I used to tell him like, man, you need to read, you need to control that. Like, if you're doing something and you're gonna be overthinking about it, then don't do it, you know. Um, but I mean, I guess kids nowadays, you know, they all they have is like social media, and then they see all these kids that are way younger than them that have money and fame, and they think, you know, you think that shit, I'm not doing nothing with my life, but bro, you're like 15, like, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I guess once they kind of started noticing that he was having an issue with the medication, they started taking him off of it. And we have an issue where I live. So I'm not gonna say where I'm from, but I'm from California and I'm from Southern California. And Southern California, we have everything because we're next to Mexico. So everybody stops here, drops everything off, and then it goes to wherever else is gonna go.
Mhm.
So for a while, we have a big problem with fentanyl, and we have a problem with fake pills. So a lot
Yeah.
of the bars are fake or they're fake pressed. They're not
They're pressed
real
with
established.
fentanyl.
Yeah, and you know, just like what happened to Mac Miller,
Mhm.
um, with I think with the 30s. So everything is getting cut right now and pressed. And he took he probably went and picked up a bar from somebody. He took it and it has Xanax, and yeah, he overdosed. He died on off of it. Um,
Jesus, I'm
so
so sorry, man.
man, it's cool. I tell people since the day we're born, our life is already written. You know what I mean? Who are we to judge God? Who are we to question God and how God works? The only thing we could do is have faith that it happened for something better. Or the way I tell people now is like, now I have an angel that's watching over me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's
My
why I think I went more hard into this, because my son died, and now I'm not gonna let his death be for nothing. So I need to do something, even if it's sharing my story and helping people, talking to people. That's why I always say, like, if people are going through stuff, if you guys are going through anything, hit me up, man. DM me. I'll talk to you guys. I don't really care. You know what I mean? Um,
yeah.
or there's places you could call, but if you're going through a problem, it's okay to talk about it. Don't hide it. Um, we're all gonna get judged no matter what, but who are they to judge us, you know?
Damn.
But yeah, man.
Dude, I could not imagine uh, experiencing a loss like that, and uh, seeing you talk about it like that, coming from like such a position of like strength and faith and God, that speaks a lot about who you are as a person. And
Yeah.
damn, I cannot imagine, man. I'm damn.
Yeah,
Uh,
bro. So, I, I really didn't talk about it that much in the beginning, but what's been helping me a lot is just speaking about it and letting it saying it, bro. Like sometimes I run into certain people that uh look like my kid, and I look at them and I gotta do like a double take, because I mean it's only gonna be 2 years, and he was my firstborn, he was my
mm,
first. I got two, or I had two. Now I just have my daughter. So, um, yeah, they were one after another one, I guess. So my son would have turned 18 on this February that passed. He would have been 18, and my
damn.
daughter is gonna be 17 in October. So yeah,
Wow. So you had both of them back to back.
yeah, bro. That's
Yeah.
how we do it.
Yeah.
For
I've
real,
noticed
bro. I
that.
was I was a teenage dad. So when I had my son, I was probably like 16 when I had my son.
Mm.
Yeah, and then I
Did,
had my daughter at 17.
damn. Did you grow up in Mexico or did you grow up in the U.S.?
Nah, bro, I was born here. I'm first generation American. So
Okay.
my father came to the U.S. when he was around 15, so he was able to go like to high school and stuff like that. My mom, she came here when she was a little bit older. But yeah, I was born here pretty much all my life. I'm the oldest. I got two sisters and then my younger brother and then me. So I'm like the black sheep of the family, bro.
I feel you. I'm kind of in the same boat. Um,
Yeah,
if you don't mind me asking, how how's your daughter been able to deal with the loss of her brother, your son?
bro. It sucks because they were close. You know what I mean? They like my son was really mellow. He was always the chill one. My daughter was the craziest one. You know how they say that your first daughter is always the one that's like the same as the dad. Like
Hmm.
when you look at my daughter looks just like me, but in a female version, and
Yeah,
she's beautiful. She's smart. She's tough. She's strong. And that's because I raised them both well.
yeah,
Sometimes I tell people like it don't matter how you raise your kids. Once they get at a certain age, there's nothing you could do. I was raised in a great household. I had both of my parents.
yeah,
My dad didn't leave our house till I was probably, like, around 15, 16, 15. I think that's when he left. So, I was born good. We never lived with people. Luckily, my dad always worked his ass off. He bought a home. He had all that American dream thing that's why he came here for.
yeah,
But I was just a knucklehead, bro. Like, anything I wanted to do, I would try it and do it, once at least. But,
yeah,
I think that's what helped me become the person I am now, and that's why, sometimes people tell me like, "Man, are you scared of what you're doing?" And I tell people, "You know what? I can't live in fear." Um, and when somebody's hit rock bottom multiple times,
yeah,
what else do I have to lose, you know? My son is gone, like, I mean, I have my daughter, but, I mean, there's nothing else that's gonna be able to hurt me, to be honest, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I think we all need to realize that, yeah, life is hard. Life life comes and it goes, but it's how we take those punches that's how we're gonna come out the other side alive, you know? We gotta realize that my mom has this Mexican saying that says, like, when she was gonna go to, like, somebody's house that she didn't like at all, or, like, a family member that she didn't like, she says, "Imma get a bunch of oil and put it all over me so that when I go to their house, all their bullshit just lights off of me." So,
yeah. I
you know
imagine
what I mean?
it's said in Spanish in like a really cool way.
Yeah, in Spanish, it sounds so dope, like she's gonna but,
What is it?
um,
Say it in Spanish.
it says, "Me voy a poner aceitito para que todo se me resbale." So pretty much, so everything just lights off. Um,
That's
so yeah, man.
damn. Yeah, I agree. I think that when people have experienced several things, it could be like near death experiences. It could be experiences that bring someone to the point where they don't value their life like they did before, or uh, when they get close to death, whether that's close to death in the sense of friends passing away, loved ones dying, just experiencing a lot of death, I guess, or close to death in the sense of, a near death experience of some sort. It changes your perspective. And the biggest piece of, the way you treat life, the way you treat yourself, the way you treat others, and all that is so much of your perspective and your mindset. And like, you know, I don't know. It's all about how you react to things. It's not necessarily about what happens. So I commend you for just being a fucking soldier, man.
Thank you, bro. Um, yeah, I think it's what you said, man. Learning how to react to situations. When I was young, I wouldn't think. I would just react. The older I got, the more I realized like I'm letting certain people live rent free inside my head, and if they're already inside of my head, they already won. So
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah. It's true. It's true.
yeah. But
So what are some of the goals with your channel? Like, do you have a specific message? Do you have something specific you want to achieve, or
well, what they say is that SABR is always the one that's having people show their face because a lot of the people weren't showing their face, especially in our community, you know?
yeah,
A lot of people don't like showing their face because of where they live, the work they do, things like that. I mean,
yeah,
in the 2A, 3D community, a lot of people believe that people that print guns are like criminals or, somebody in the
my bad.
basement. Yeah, go ahead. Um, but nah, man, it's just we're just regular people. So what I wanted to do with my show is I wanted everybody else that doesn't know about 3D printing to see that we're normal. We're not, these crazy guys on a computer that are scared to show our faces.
Yeah,
We have regular lives. We have families, and w- we give back to the community. So I'm trying to get that. You know how the media is trying to portray us as criminals and
of course.
thugs and stuff like that. So all I wanna do is show people that, nah, man, we're all human, and it's the same thing as people building guns. Like, they've been building guns in America since America started, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You wouldn't be able to buy a gun and at a store till later on, but I think I tell people when I bought my first gun, I was like, "Wow, this is what it is to be American." But then when I printed my first gun, I was like, "Damn,
that's what it's
America
like to
kicks
be.
ass." Yeah, bro, like 3D printing guns is like apple pie, like baseball, like, it don't get no more American than this, and, I
Yeah,
think people need to understand that we need more freedom, and we cannot, like, we're getting to the point where we're so scared of what people are gonna think about us that we censor ourselves. We get
yeah,
to that point, all that politically correct shit, that's just bullshit. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I
I
don't mean
mean,
to
that's
offend
why honestly, when you asked, like when we first started, and you asked who I was, you know, I think a lot of people that are like public facing, Second Amendment activists, gun guys, gun tubers, whatever you want to call them, I think a lot of them would have gone into like, you know, oh, I'm a, Glock and AR guy. I'm not a, SIG 1911 guy or whatever. And, that's why when you asked, I was like, I'm a husband, a father, a brother, and people have this perspective because they're being programmed, they're being forced what to think of who people really are, right? But they don't see the Sabar that is, a father, that's a human that has, experienced pain and like, you know, come back from it like you have, and they don't see the dark that's, you know, the husband, the father, like that kind of thing. It's so I think you're absolutely right that like us kind of exposing like that element of it is so important. So kudos to you for doing that.
Yeah, man. And let me rephrase something too. It don't matter if you don't want to show your face. Like I understand that that's your that's what you want to do. It's fine, but I just want I want this. People need to understand that 3D printing. It might sound corny, but it pretty much saved my life. Like if I wouldn't have been here 3D printing, I could have gone somewhere that I know myself, you know? I could have used the excuse of losing my son. I could have used the excuse of my father, my stepdad dying in front of my eyes, you know? Cause ALS sucks, man. Like if you guys have ever seen somebody die from chemo and cancer and stuff like that, it's ALS is the same thing, but this person stops talking, they can't eat, they become they be they're pretty much incarcerated in their own head because you can't even communicate with them, especially if it gets to a point where my stepdad was an older gentleman, so he didn't really know how to use technology. We tried using the stuff with the eyes so he could communicate with the computer, but he
Yeah.
couldn't, you know, he was not born with a cell phone and stuff like that. He couldn't pick it
Yeah.
up. So that I want people to know that 3D printing is not what people are saying because if it wasn't for 3D printing, honestly, I don't know where I would be at. Meeting all the family, like all the people that, like everybody that goes on my show, like they're cool. They've the whole WTS team. I always tell them, I always shout them out, and I always tell them, "Hey, man, you guys mean the world to me." And I think I do that a lot now because we don't know if tomorrow's promised. So we need to start living for today and stop worrying about tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I had to
I
say, bro.
couldn't agree more. I mean, it just the way that you laid that out, it's so true. And I some things that I've dealt with in my life, you know, albeit very different, right? I couldn't imagine going through those types of losses, and I'm sorry that you're going through that and have gone through that.
Yeah,
And trauma to any degree, you know, leads you to take different paths. And I think that you know, firearms, having an outlet like being able to just come on and stream and talk to people, meet people, build relationships, like that is so important. And there's no telling, like when somebody goes through terrible things like that, what direction they may go. So I commend you for taking that route. You know.
yeah.
What just out of curiosity, what does SABR mean? Like, where does it come from?
Oh, I think I explained it to somebody else, but I don't think I've done it openly. But so when we did you know how for a while everybody was doing those DNA tests or whatever, and they were like super cheap and shit like that.
Mhm.
I mean, I never wanted to do one because I was like, they're just collecting data on us and trying to figure out, you know? So,
Yep.
but
Yeah, I
my
know.
sister my sister ended up doing it. So, I mean, you know, I'm pretty sure we have the same DNA. I mean, I hope we have the same dad. If not, I'm gonna have to talk to my mom about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, you know, so when it came out that I'm actually like, damn, bro, like I think like 45% European or something like that.
What?
So yeah, yeah. So I'm like, I got, I, I was surprised. I thought I was gonna be like super Native American or so, you know, native to the
Yeah.
Americas. I guess I'm 50-50 in a way, 45 or whatever. So when I checked on my background, I have like a lot of pretty much like Spaniard, uh, Portugal, some Italian, not a lot, and I am. No, I'm not gonna say it. Um,
You're talking like Castellano type Spanish, not like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
like from Europe, bro, like
Spain
that.
and
Yeah, the Spain, like that
Madrid.
side. Going back, I started doing some research, and I guess we had a lot of family when Spain was controlled by the Moors. So they call it the golden age of Islam, I guess, because that's when the Moors and the Jews and the Catholics were all together and they were open and they were sharing information. I think they discovered algebra, and I think they also did like the first surgery for cataracts.
Mm,
Like back then, bro, like they had like a successful surgery for cataracts. The more I started looking into it, the more I realized that there's a lot of words in Arabic that also are in Spanish, you know? So
mhm,
then when I looked at Sabar actually said that it's somebody that knows how to be patient, but at the same time, it's like you're not just being patient, but you're actually overcoming. So I don't know, I guess I like the word that Sabar meant, so I just went with it and it stuck, you know?
yeah,
There's there's 2 Sabars. So you have Sabar right now, and then you have Savor, and Savor is the drunk one, and that's the one you don't wanna meet unless you
I've
go to
heard about
Discord.
Saber. I've
Yeah.
only heard tales of the Saber you speak of.
Yeah, man, pretty much it was just me going back and, being surprised that I'm, like, 45% European. That shit
Yeah,
was weird.
yeah, that's what's up. My
That's so
mom
weird.
actually spent almost a full year in Madrid, and yeah, it's a trip, man. It's a very different type of area, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I imagine some things you may not be able to speak about being behind the enemy lines, but
Yeah.
I'll be cautious with my questioning. So what's your go-to handgun?
Okay, so I always wanted a CC, um,
Hmm.
but at I just stuck with Glock. So, I'm gonna tell you a story, right? In the beginning, um, I remember I went to purchase the first firearm, right? And I
Hmm.
was asking questions and, like, I don't know why, but they always tell me like, "Oh, well, what do you want it for?" And I'm like, "Oh, just home defense, to keep it at home and stuff like that." And they're like, "Right away, bro. The first thing they want like I went to 2 gun places, and the first thing they wanted to sell me was a shotgun." And I'm like, "Bro, I don't want a shotgun, like I want a handgun. I don't want like." So then they were trying to make me get a revolver, like a 38 special, and I'm like, "I don't want a revolver," like, and they're like, "Oh, well, like, you won't drop the shells and this and that," and I'm like, "So what are you trying to say, bro?" Like, you what? I'm telling you, it was a weird encounter. And then I saw the Glocks, and, I didn't like I don't know, but, in the Mexican community, a lot of people don't like Glocks because they say they don't have a safety, right? So, a lot of the people want something with a safety because I guess I mean, of course, if you don't train and you don't properly learn how to handle a firearm, you're gonna end up shooting yourself, no matter if it has a
Yeah,
safety or
yeah.
not. You know what I mean?
Fools be acting
Um,
up.
yeah. So I started asking about the Glock, and I wanted to get a 26, right, in the beginning,
Mhm,
like a big Glock.
mhm,
And then I went shooting, and I love the way that the 19 felt in my hand. I'm not a big guy. I'm like 5'9",
mhm.
so I'm about average, and the way the Glock 19 felt in my hand was perfect, so that's what I got, bro, a 19.
So that was your first one?
Yeah. I
Nice.
mean, I had other ones, but
Yeah,
the
yeah, I feel
yeah,
you.
these were
I've
them.
man, honestly, I feel you. I've openly said on stream before, I'm like, "Yo, I used to carry guns illegally. I had a fucking well, fuck it. I had no, 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 no. Yeah. So yeah, I feel you. There's been a couple times that I was gonna say which ones I had, but I was like, oh, there were a couple times,
You're gonna get
um,
clowned.
yeah. So I'm gonna take that easy, but yeah, I mean, I think when you kind of are in a different environment where everybody's carrying a gun, then it's just the appropriate thing to do, especially if like you also have that fascination for them already, you know,
Yeah.
and in an environment where, you know, other fools got guns, you're like, shit, the natural progression for me to take is for me to, you know, get and carry a gun. So I feel you. But I mean, I imagine in your area, it's kind of the same. It's like guns are for cops and robbers.
Yeah, so I tell a lot of people that, when I started getting into guns, a lot of my family members, uh, they kind of expected it from me 'cause they don't even know what to expect with me sometimes, you know, to be honest. But, in the beginning, my mom was kind of like, like, "Oh, are you allowed to have that? This and that." I'm like, What are you talking about? Like, it's legal, like, in the
Yeah,
United States, you could have a gun." But like I tell people in Mexico, the only person that has a gun is either the cops or the bad guys, and
yeah,
half of the time the cops are the bad guys, so
yeah,
you don't even know who to trust. So a lot of people don't really understand that. Luckily, my mom has always been very open-minded and very supportive of everything I do. So yeah, but my wife, my ex-wife, she was like trying to make a scene about that and use it as excuses, but
yeah,
I mean, it just I guess, I didn't realize how many people in Southern California especially are they don't understand about guns, like, I guess
hmm
because it's like a super blue state or something, but
yeah.
they they don't get it, man. It's so weird,
It's a different
but then
world.
yeah.
Like their understanding of like what's legal. It's kind of the same way like in Virginia for the longest time. I used to work at a gun shop for about 5 years, and for so long, people would come in and see this shelf full of silencers and be like, "Oh, silencers are illegal." And we're like, like, let me explain something to you, you know? So people just have this understanding of like what's legal and not legal. Now, you know, in all reality, like um, any fire, like you can build any firearm you want, like you can, you know, but hold up, in Cali. Um, I'm trying to be as thoughtful as possible with um, are 80s legal in Cali?
I don't know, bro, and the more that I don't know, the more chance I have of, what is it? Something like, the deniability or what how you say?
Yeah,
Um,
like plausible deniability.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
I feel
I don't
you.
wanna
I feel
know,
you.
I don't know, I don't understand how it works. I know for a while it was, and I had a friend, right? And he said that he tried to make purchases, recently, and a lot of places are not shipping. So let me tell you this. I'm gonna say this. I don't care because I posted it. But when I bought the AUG kit, it's just a kit. You know what I mean? It's not a
Yeah,
full firearm. So when I bought that kit, the only place I could buy it from was Atlantic Firearms.
there's one
Uh,
other place sending them to Cali too.
who?
Um, I'll pull it up. I have a
Because the
homie from. It was like $200 too. I'll
Yeah,
tell you.
cause the other 2 places, the one that was having the, what's it called?
Uh,
The
uh,
sale, they weren't doing it, and then the other yeah, so it was like, the only one I found was Atlantic, and also the just even the mag, it was hard to get one. I had to
yeah, yeah,
order it
they're
with
head
a
cracking.
California compliant one from, this guy in Arizona. And that guy was pretty cool. He actually called me, bro, and he's all like, "Hey, do you know that, the mag you're ordering is for an AUG?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's not for an AR." And I'm like, "Nah, man, I don't want it for an AR." So
Okay,
he
dog.
that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Hold on, I'll tell you. I had a homie from our community hit me up, and he was like, "Yo, um, you know, everywhere I've gone, they're not shipping these to Cali," and I was like, "Fuck
Yeah.
that." Victory
Somebody
Arms, Victory
okay.
hyphen Arms, $200.
Somebody said Apex, gun parts too.
Yeah, I mean, oh shit,
Yeah,
shit.
but I don't know, like, you just purchased another kit, bro, by accident?
Oh no, I swiped in the DMs and it went to vanish mode, and I was like, "Fuck, I forgot which way I gotta." swipe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm in Virginia, so I mean, a couple things have happened here that are pretty fucking ridiculous, but like they came in and they were like, private transactions are illegal. You can no longer, do private transactions in the state of Virginia after like July of 2021, maybe 2020, some shit like that. I don't know. I break it. I break that law openly and don't care, and I just don't I don't comply. And it's one of those things where, and you know what, like at this point, like I got a channel with like 3,000 subs. I got a fucking Instagram with 1,000 subs. I have, like, trust me, I've already had some issues with fucking some shit. My whole house is spotless. It has been completely sanitized. They ain't gonna find shit in this motherfucker. So feds, statistically, by 44 people in here, there's at least 4.4 of you that are watching right now. So I get it, right? I'm in your radar, especially after the whole CRS shit. So come fuck with me, holler at me. It's just gonna waste all your time and money and energy, and it's just not worth it. But what they
Yes.
do is they come in and they take something, say that's completely legal, and they twist it and they spin it and they try to say like whatever, right? So I was actually thinking of it like this. I had a friend that was building a slam fire shotgun, right, like a pipe shotgun,
Yeah, Home
and
Depot. Yeah.
yeah, and he drilled a hole through the end cap of a pipe,
Yeah.
and he ended up fucking one of them up, and then he threw one in his toolbox and closed it, and I was like, dog, do you have any idea that, like, if the police ran up in here and they found a pipe and another pipe cap with a hole drilled through it, they'd say you
Pipe
got
bomb.
fucking bomb making shit right there.
Yeah.
Like, like,
Man,
they'll find a way because their goal isn't to find the one thing you forgot about. Their goal is to take all of your legal firearms, all of your armor, all of your ammo, all of your fucking preps, all of your foot, like what, so they don't fuck around, man. They know what's up. But yeah, so I knew that coming out on YouTube coming out, you know what I'm saying? Like, putting myself
damn.
out there, put myself out there on YouTube, and I'm sure you thought about this at least a little bit as well, that you
Yeah.
kind of put a target on your back, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure, bro, but, I tell people this, right? Emiliano Zapata says, "I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees," and
Yeah, yeah,
I live by that phrase, and another thing, bro, what are they gonna take, bro? What are they gonna take? I don't got shit.
yeah, yeah.
Allegedly, no, but honestly, yeah, just please don't shoot my dog, guys. If you're watching, like, don't shoot the dog, please. My mom really loves him, so you're gonna break her heart if you guys do shoot that dog.
But see,
It's
what you have to do is you have to get a Tannerite dog at the front, right? Like right in the foyer. So when they come in, they're like, dog, boom, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And
yeah, like the
just,
fake turkeys, huh? Like the
just
fake
kidding,
turkey.
just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. Yeah, 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 yeah. But no, but yeah, yeah.
No,
Um,
yeah, bro. No, I have thought about it and stuff like that, but, if you check my stuff, um, I've never posted no videos of me shooting anything. So, and, yeah, like, I've
yeah,
never shot
yeah.
anything, so
I
I'm
mean,
not
for
breaking.
real, like anybody online could be posting shit just to be fronting and flexing. You could have airsoft shit. They have
Yeah,
no fucking idea what you got. So, I mean, the amount of reach that you got to have for them to start fucking with you, like, think about it. Like, CRS had 135,000 subscribers
but
and like millions of minutes of shit, millions of hours of watch time.
you know why they hit, CRF? Because this is my opinion, because they wanted to silence him, bro, because what he was talking about at almost, like, more later on to his videos,
Hmm.
he was pretty,
Hmm.
what he was preaching, bro, like, that's
Yeah,
it. When you
yeah.
start preaching truth, they come for you or they kill you, bro. That it's
When,
a fact,
when you got
and,
reach, yeah,
yeah, and he he was getting a lot of people that were checking his stuff out, and he was. I think even his wife said it, huh? Like, he's not in the camera for a while because he just speaks his mind, and
Yeah.
so
Well, his
yeah,
lawyers straight up said, like, so, and I'm not speaking out of turn because they kind of said this, right? Like, I wouldn't say anything that, they wouldn't
yeah,
want
yeah,
me to say, but the lawyers, part of the agreement for him being released was that he would not make any videos that were like, you can't, say anything bad about the ATF. You can't say anything bad about a government agency. You can't say anything bad about, like, so think about this, okay? They are literally like just trampling on his God-given rights that are supposed to be guaranteed by the Constitution, that this judge took an oath to, okay? And they're saying that the only way that you will be allowed to be released is if you relax on your First Amendment a little bit and chill out. You can't exercise your Second Amendment either before a conviction. That's where the fuck we are as a country.
that's some fucked up shit, bro. Yeah. So like, I mean, hopefully everything goes well with that guy, cause man, he's. I only spoke to him once, and that's when remember they caught that Lego dude.
Yeah,
I think he was doing like Lego stuff, and then CRS kind of spoke about it and stuff. I
yeah,
think he was doing a GoFundMe for him.
yeah.
So,
So a lot of that originated on my channel, actually.
oh, for real?
Yeah, and people were like, "Oh, Dark is the police," because homeboy got fucking got locked up.
The
But
one in New York or something like that, right? The
yeah,
Lego
yeah.
dude.
But he was actively like showing some spicy shit on camera. He came in on a stream, on a couple, and we used to
Oh,
do this shit called show and tell. Now we do glow and tell, but honestly, I don't even really like doing that shit because I don't know. I just I feel some type of way about it, but just from shit that's happened in the past. But like he was showing some spicy shit, number one. And number two, he was showing off a completed P80, showing videos of him shooting, showing videos of like him shooting armor and with a 50 cal and all this shit. And he ends up building a Lego AK, right? Now he fired it and the shit just blew the fuck up, completely destroyed, right? Obviously, it's fucking Legos, but it was for the meme. You know what I'm saying? Like it was for the meme. And I end up like tripping out, like, damn, like, are they watching my shit that hard that when someone comes on and they cut up, like, they just boom go out there? Come to find out,
damn.
and I haven't talked to him in forever, but come to find out, the kid had a condition, right? And um, let's just say his condition gave him an issue with his memory, and he literally could be having a conversation and completely forget about what the fuck you were just talking about. So by the time it's his turn to respond, he's like, "What were we talking about?"
Oh,
And he
like
has
fucking Sleepy Joe type of syndrome or what?
what's that?
The Sleepy Joe type of syndrome?
No, this is
I'm
um,
joking.
a very, very awake, alert, active dude that's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I literally have no fucking idea what we were just talking about." you know?
Damn.
And he's like a younger, kind of like, quirky dude. But come to find out, he had a full time, like a full time live in like medical aid. And
Oh
he was
shit.
showing all of his like guns and explosives to a fucking nurse that was
Yeah,
with him
yeah.
the whole time.
And she
So,
probably works for like the city or something or the county, and she reported him.
Lego guy got the cops called on him because a family member reported him. So that's another thing that I thought because he had said like we spoke afterwards and I knew like some shit had popped off. Um, I mean, he basically did a fucking 12 video vlog about the ATF coming to his house and all this shit. And they were basically like, yo, look, because of your situation, we'll just let you go if you just stop making videos about the ATF and if you stop making videos about the New York State Police and if you stop saying that we did thousands and thousands of dollars of damage to your shit, and he
Ooh,
didn't stop. He kept
because
fucking
he
doing it.
forgot, bro.
I
He
don't
forgot what they
know,
told him, bro.
maybe, but like it had me tripping, and I was like, damn, like they're like I don't know. There's just there can't be a team of motherfuckers that are just watching YouTube, like clickety clickety clickety, like
Bro, there is.
yeah. I mean,
There,
probably, but that it just seems like a little bit like a stretch. But he ended up
no,
getting fucking hemmed
it's
up.
not.
I don't know what happened to him. I hope he's okay. Lego man, bro, if you're out there, dog, like I hope you're all right. And that sucks and stuff. So
Yeah, that dude that dude was just having his best life, bro. He was getting probably like some exercise checks, having fun with his money. Come
right.
on, poor
Yeah,
guy.
Chuck Norris, man. Good to see you, brother. I ain't seen you in a minute, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're safe and all that shit. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, but um, so what are like what's the next big step with your channel? Like what's something that you
Uh,
want to do? Maybe a guest you want to have on?
um, I think um, I think the next step is the season 2 for the podcast. So I mean, I'm gonna do because the season 1 already episode yeah season 1 already ended, so I'm moving on to season 2. Season 2, I wanna interview people that are more like have done more for the community. Like a little bit more
Mm,
that are like Invader Sip, maybe
yeah,
Mr. Candela himself. Um, you
yeah,
know,
yeah. Hell yeah.
so that's what I want to do. But I mean,
What if may I make a suggestion?
yeah, go ahead.
I think something that it sounds like something that's important to you is changing people's minds on printing, building, firearms in general, their ability to understand that like firearms and anything regarding self-preservation is not given to us by the government, is not given to us by our state, our country, whatever. It's given to us by our creator. And that it's supposed to be guaranteed by the Constitution. And that this shit is normal. That I'm a dude, I run a fucking business and I have a family. I'm, like these are the kinds of people that are building guns, right? If shit ends up in bad people's hands, that's just gonna happen either fucking way. You know,
Yeah, of
the
course.
guns with defaced serial numbers being called ghost guns, like that shit gets me so hot. But anyway, so my point is, what if you were to put a call out to the world to say people with opposing views, people that aren't in the community, people that don't agree with me, people that are challenging me, I would like to come on and have an open conversation with you, calm, cool, collected, open conversation. That afterwards, if we agree on something, cool. If we still disagree at the end, great. I can virtually shake your hand and be like, cool, thanks for coming on, pound it, have a good day, peace. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I don't think I'm ready to handle all those. What's those moms against what or what is it called?
Oh, it'll take you a good 100,000 subscribers before you get there, bro.
Yeah, man, I don't know. No, but that sounds like a good idea, bro.
There's a
I'm
way. Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I was gonna say anything.
Well, so if you ever end up in a situation where you have somebody with opposing views, the way that we've been going about trying to change their mind is wrong. So we think that telling people things changes their mind, which is factually incorrect, right?
Yeah,
Unfortunately, we're in a world where us giving information does not reverse thought. It doesn't happen, right? So, what we have to do is if somebody has an opposing view, that is typically not an original view. It is a view that does not belong to them. It's a view that has been installed in them and they have been programmed to think that way. So when somebody has an opposing view, you ask them a question about it, right? And then once they state their answer, Then you ask them a question about that. And then you start digging deeper and you go at least three questions deep on something. And then they find themselves in a really awkward situation because now they have to explain their rationale and their reasoning behind something that they don't even really fucking believe. They just have been told it. They have that one line, maybe a couple sentences, and maybe whatever. And then you aren't challenging them. They start challenging themselves. They're like, oh fuck, where did I get that information? Where I don't know that to be true. And then after they get that, oh my God, I've been lied to, you can convert them, then you deliver the information. Done. I mean, you're looking at a dude that voted for fucking Obama, right? Like
Hey, bro, were you ever like a Jehovah Witness or a Mormon or some shit like that?
nah, bro. I just
I think that's what they do, bro. Like what you told me right now, those motherfuckers go be doing, bro.
so the where I learned that was sales.
Uh,
So I
oh,
learned
yeah, you had to do sales, bro.
yeah, and I've been in sales almost my whole life, right? Like communication, sales, and identifying a gap, and then providing them information
With the
that gap
solution.
that we've like identified together, not me. Like
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
identified it, and we just happened to be together while you identified it. Like that was your original thought. I just happen to be the only solution, or I just happen to be providing the only solution that you have to fill that gap. And you know what I mean? So it's whether it's sales, whether it's political beliefs or ideas or whatever the fuck it is, it's the same thing, which is communication, and it is getting down to like the psychological programming of people to where yes, the Socratic method technically, it's when people have to rationalize their own position out loud, and I almost guarantee it is the first time that they've had to rationalize their own like thought that doesn't belong to them, by the way. Like I said, it's
Nah,
been
nah.
installed in their brain and fucking pre-programmed. They have to, out loud, say it, and then it's like, fuck, man, like I've been lied to, and that's when I changed. When I was like, holy shit, I've been lied to.
But the problem is, see, I think, like you said, bro, everybody has been programmed a certain way, especially if you grew up at a certain time in the U.S. We got programmed with TV, with everything, the music,
Yeah,
everything, right?
yeah,
Um, I tell a lot of people like all this gang banging stuff. This shit was created, man. Because I remember when the gang stuff was hitting, right? Like in the early '90s and stuff like that. They had all those movies, bro. For us, it was Blood In, Blood Out, American Me, Mi Vida Loca. For the
100%.
for the blacks, they had Colors. They had Boys in the Hood. They had
Yeah.
all that stuff, bro.
Menace to Society,
So they
fucking
they
Scarface.
target. Yeah, for the Italians, so they targeted minorities, bro. Like they
Yeah.
program, and that's what it is. It's a television program. Like you're watching
Mhm.
the program. What's coming up next? It's a program. So I think the thing maybe with you is that you were kind of already maybe seeking that you wanted to change whatever
Yeah.
was there, or or something had happened to you where you knew that you needed to change your views. So I mean, I know what you mean, bro. I'll be down to do it. Shit. Why don't me and you do something like that, bro? If you're
I'm
down.
down. Yeah. It
Because
would probably have to be if it were me and you, it'd probably have to be me and you, and then 2 people with opposing
yeah,
thoughts, so they don't feel
yeah,
like they're attacked. Or
like
I'm
what?
also a
Yeah,
very good, like, middle of the road person, right? So I'm usually, super calm, super like, "Hey, guys, let's calm down. Let's all be kind. Let's all love each other," right? And, that's how I get down. So,
bro. That's what happened. Remember when in the beginning we were like being mysterious about what was gonna happen
yeah,
on today.
people thought we were beefing.
Yeah, people thought we were beefing, and then somebody told me, "Hey, man, like I hope this is not like no made up beef that somebody spread because both of you guys are very chill. Like both of you guys are, very cool and
Damn.
stuff like that." I'm like, "Oh fuck, nah, bro."
Yeah,
We
when it
it was just
started getting, like
like that.
like
You in
seeming
DMs
too
too?
real. Yeah, people were hitting me up, and I was like, no, no, it's not like that. It's not like that. But it's that's why I kind of want to be like, we're just flipping the script, right? Like
Yeah.
quite literally, just flipping the script. And you did, and it was your idea, and you fucking crushed it, man.
Morningstar said, "Yeah, bring back Irish and Italian prejudice."
Yeah, right. Right. But that no, that's so true as far as what you're saying, like, what they were looking for when they, put out those types of movies. Like, man, think of Blood In, Blood Out, bro. Man, I
But why didn't they have, like, this Mexican dude that is a doctor or something like that? I don't know. Uh,
yeah.
I mean, we don't believe in doctors, but at the same time, yeah, the movie probably wouldn't have hit. Blood In, Blood Out hit better.
I mean, honestly, like, the Black community too, they don't as far as my anecdotal experience from me growing the fuck up, they don't believe in doctors really either. If the church can't fix it or weed can't fix it, they're gonna live with it.
Bro, because as soon as you go to the doctor, they they end up finding out that you're gonna die, like, in a couple days. Like, so if you never would have gone to the doctor, you probably would have been alive. But, I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying I'm just saying, bro.
Have you
Oh,
ever
yeah.
pushed in?
Have you ever had your shit pushed
Ratos
in it?
locos para siempre. Sí.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
no,
I mean,
they were looking for individuals that were easily influenced, right? Like, so when
yeah,
they, and this is kind of like what I brought up earlier, like when they weaken the family, when they weaken the minds of the general public, when they, kind of gear them towards this life of like consumerism and just consumption and convenience and dependence on whatever, not only the government but everything in between you and the government, whether it's food or politicians or whatever, like, and then the false fucking perception of control, whether it's voting or all that they're looking to weaken people. They're looking to thin out the population. They're looking to remove people. They're looking to remove military age males, drugs, porn, fucking divorce, fucking projects, everything. All of this has to do with the same shit, which is control, thinning out the herd, and fucking keeping everybody dependent on that fucking tit.
yeah, for sure. That's what they wanna do, bro. They don't wanna help you grow. They don't want you to be a better person. They just want you to be a consumer and pretty much obey all the time.
That's some
That's
trippy shit, Holmes.
almost
Oh
alright,
man, what a great movie, Training Day.
look, bro, I've been with you for 2 hours.
Yeah,
I'ma
man.
I appreciate you having me, bro. And we'll keep in touch, bro, and we'll talk and we'll come up with something.
Hell
Uh,
yeah, man. Did
'Cause right
I,
now I'm go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, cause right now I'm just doing, so I got the show on what is it? On Fridays, my memory. On on Fridays, and then WTS, the We Talk Shit, should be come back this Saturday. It was supposed to come back this Saturday, but I was just too hungover, and and then I do, like, late nights with SABR sometimes. So Imma try to keep $5. Imma try to keep it more, consistent.
Hell yeah, man. Never miss a day, regardless of, even if you're
Yeah,
solo. You know what I'm saying? I'm
yeah, for
trying to
sure.
see your channel. So that's Cyber Prince. I'm trying to see Cyber Prince 2A.
You just gotta
Oh,
put
you got 105 subscribers, dog.
damn, bro, that's a come up. I had, like, 95 earlier, so thank you, bro, I appreciate it.
That's what's
And
up, man.
sweet.
The is near. Beware. What's up, brother? Coming in with a super chat at the last moment of the show. Hope you're doing well, man. I just got in today. My first Holosun. Thank you. And I got in today my I'm tripping. My Recover Tactical rail for my Glock 43, so I can actually put this little motherfucker on my Glock 43
Damn,
X.
that's just nice.
Yeah, man, I love that shit, man. But I just want to share gratitude, man, for you taking the time to come on and speak with me and share everything. I know some of the things that we talked about was not easy, and thank you for the idea and everything. And take a moment to remind everybody who you are, what you do, where they can find you, and maybe we'll get a few more last minute subs in there.
All right. So you guys can find me at SABR Prints and SABR Prints 2A. So you just type it in on Google, SABR Prints 2A, and then you'll get all the info right there. I'll pop up right away. So the best way to find me is SABR Prints 2A. That'll take you to everything I'm doing. I got podcasts, even podcasts. You could just put SABR Prints 2A show. Everything pops up on Google. So that's
Oh
why I
yeah,
picked your name also. Nobody
and
else is gonna use it.
the Sport Brand, put your link in chat so everybody can click the link and
Oh, that's dope.
can see the
Thank you,
link.
Sport Brand.
Yeah, so if you click on that, you'll be able to get it, Matt Matrix. And sub to both channels. Sub to SABR Prince. It's SABR. That's Sierra Alpha Bravo Romeo Prince, and also SABR Prince 2A. So make sure you sub to both. Yeah,
Appreciate it.
SABR, correct. And again, the end is near. Beware. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. I don't know if you had a message in there or if you were just being super generous. So I appreciate you. And Saber, man, I appreciate you, brother. And I would love to come on the show. I would love to be on the pre-roast, but I think I may sit out next week. So I'm not sure what your availability is, but I'm actually going to submit a build to next
Oh,
week's.
what?
Yeah, yeah,
For
yeah,
real?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. Man, I need to get on that level, man. Look at me, I'm tripping. But you guys know how I close out every single episode, man, and I'm gonna do that. But right now, because we went back, we took it way back, old school, to the inception of this channel. I'm gonna bring back something that we kind of let go of, and I think it's important that we bring it back. So Sabar, as the esteemed guest that was invited to this show, I would like to give you the honor to name the show.
name the show?
Name the show. What would you like to name it?
Uh, bro, West Coast, East Coast.
West Coast, East Coast? All right, you
Yeah,
got it.
West Coast versus East Coast. Sabar edition.
All right, let's see if I can fit this in here real quick. Because if I don't do it now, I won't do it. 1, 2, 4. See if this works.
Best Coast.
Oh, that's all I could get in there. East Coast versus West Coast. West Coast versus
Yeah,
East
that's
Coast.
fine, bro. That's fine.
Word. So everybody in chat, you guys already know. Every single night that I'm streaming, I always end the same, and I think it's important now more than ever, especially with some of the things that we talked about today, is that you follow rule number 1, which is be kind. It is so important for us to be kind. You never know the person that you bump into, the person on the other end of a phone. It's so important for us to be kind because one, you could make a huge impact on their life by being kind, right? Open a door for somebody, pay for something for somebody, share food with somebody, whatever it means to you, be kind, right? Live a life of care, compassion, contribution, because we know that when you bless others, you'll be blessed. And a hand that's open to give is open to receive. And we also know that the only way to defeat evil is with good men that are skilled in violence. So make sure that you become as highly skilled in violence as you possibly can be, and be safe, and be dangerous, and keep that thing on you. We out. Peace, y'all. Gerchop would probably like this guy, most likely from the same area. There you go. All right.
Damn.
Love y'all. Peace. Oh, we got a new member. New with a new channel member. My man. Thank
All
you.
right, bro.
Appreciate you. All right, y'all have a good night. Peace.